Trading futures is extremely risky. It's not suitable for all investors, and anything I do or say here today is for educational purposes only. It's not meant as trading or investment advice. Good morning to everybody in our rapidly growing futures community here. I can't tell you how excited I am to see all of you being a part of what we're doing here and joining our desk and all these good things. So if we do a quick review of yesterday, because I don't have a particular trade to stock at the moment. I believe, you guys I'm sure will correct me if I'm wrong, that hypo A yesterday was for more rotational behavior in here. Hypo B was for move down into here with the pullback to get short to go here. And hypo C was actually a move higher to pull back to keep headed higher. ABC 1, 2, 3. I interchange those terms all the time. So the first trade we took was kind of a going for this first hypo scenario here. So we got scaled, scratched it because the buyers were just not surmounting this area. So then that put us into this hypo territory, which we got the trade, got scales, and then again another kind of scratch / stop as the buyers clearly were taking control. These were great trades here, and so then we ended the webcast. These were great trades here to get back in with hypo 1, and then there was a couple pullback long opportunities here with hypo 3. So as far as today, given that we put ourselves in the situation, what is our situation, Dad? For hypo 3 in this area yesterday and failed overnight, I think that that's significant. I think this is really my line in the sand. You can see us struggling to hold over this area in the past several hours in the overnight trade European session. So for me, that's kind of hypo A, to hold underneath here. The first move and target would be down into this zone, with the secondary move could be into this zone here. So essentially it's kind of holding here, push into here, or into here. Hypo 2 would really be rotational just again around this area. It's almost the same as we looked at yesterday, with the caveat that I'll be looking at some of these unique profiles which have come from, you see, 10 and 11 a.m. splits the past several days, so we can actually trade around these balance areas here amongst this structure. But we have confluence here in the 80s. We have another level here in the 60s. And then a more confluence here, let's call it 30. So definitely some short-term scalping we can do around this rotational environment for hypo 2. And then hypo 3 is the same hypo 3 as yesterday. That would be this bad boy there. So that is what we're looking at. I always like to let people know, be aware of your recent immediate balance. Be aware of if you do have a pretty solid overnight distribution or HVN, and I think we certainly do here the past several hours into here. So not really interested in doing anything from the middle of that zone. The edges, especially the upper one, definitely potential trade locations. knowing where not to trade is equally as important as knowing where to trade. I laid these zones out kind of in the hypos, but I'll say it again. I think today we either get up to this area or this area. I really do. Interesting to note that this swing high, essentially this kind of whole area here, this swing high, and where we are currently, what do they all have in common? You tell me. What a tight overnight session in the S&P. Shorted some here. My guess is I'm about to scratch out of this trade. Yeah, go ahead and let it go. All right, worked back into the short. Go with the re-entry here. Yeah, I think I'm still too early here. All right, got out there. All right, third time's a charm. Short about 3 different price levels right here. Let me move this up a bit. Equities just opened up. Finally seeing some sellers start to show up. Back down into a VWAP. Took out a little bit into VWAP there. Or a few ticks shy of it, that is. Sorry, this is so messy here today. Trying to figure out what we're doing this week. We have last week's high at, I believe it's 73 cents. Yeah. So kind of figuring out if we're going to continue with some price expansion higher or fall back into last week's range. I believe those buyers were that upper end of that immediate recent balance from this overnight distribution, just seeing them defend from that area. That combined with VWAP, an obvious place to book some profits. All right, some decent selling. Next place I'll look to scale will be around 64, 65. So far, volume for the first 3 15-minute periods of the day has been pretty close to average, 20-day average, that is. As you can see on the volume profile of the day, most of the trade is being facilitated right here at this area, our main line in the sand for the day. Which tells me that it's probably not the best line in the sand today. The best lines in the sand for me are rapidly rejected or blown through. Something obviously not quite right with the short here. Two bounces from VWAP. Buyers still defending the top of this overnight congestion balance. Such a fine line sometimes between monitoring the market-generated information to determine when something is worth getting out of, an idea worth letting go of, versus all the things that you could always look at to say, I probably shouldn't be in this. It's a constant, for me, it's a constant conversation I have with myself, whether is this market generated information based on what you're feeling or thinking or seeing here. And then if it is, then we can move on to, is this an actual reason to scratch a trade, to exit a trade, things like that. If you're not having those type of conversations and have a process to lean on to make the determinations, you got work to do. Market definitely seems like it wants to run some stops higher. Hey, nice selling. All right. Got the scale into 65 as planned. I'm out of 2/3 of this position, scaling a bit heavier than normal, a little quicker than normal, just based on the choppy nature. You know, inside day here, no big deal. This is really the inflection point between where we split the profiles between the morning and afternoon distributions. So it's an important place. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the video today. I have a fully booked day starting here in a half hour. I don't even know if I'll be able to eat lunch. So I got to go, and I will continue to update you guys on the remaining kind of core short position. As mentioned, looking for, I'll probably take half of the remaining third off into this 30s, 40s, and then kind of a final target into 6280s. That's at least the plan. Stop will remain above the highs here. And that's that.
Many people want to be traders. They're passionate about markets, but they don't know how to accomplish the goal of being a successful trader. They don't know the path to achieve that goal. And it's easy to want to be a trader, but that doesn't mean it'll be easy to be one. And there's no easy path to any form of greatness, but there is a path. SMB Futures gives traders a way to move their trading forward, a way to rise above all those who try and fail. Whether you're just starting out or an established veteran, we have a place to plug you into our system and keep you moving forward down the right path. Maybe you need to connect with successful traders. Maybe you need training to develop mental toughness or find edge. Maybe you're ready to trade on our team, either remotely or on our New York desk, where you are backed by large amounts of capital, provided with world-class professional technology, where you work with a risk manager that knows you, within a culture of coaching and mentoring, at a firm that takes all the downside risk while encouraging you to become the best version of yourself. For those with the courage to make the journey, SMB Futures is here to move your trading forward.